Everyone, so I'm here today with a video about fake tan, and I'm going to answer all your questions from Instagram and Twitter and that kind of thing regarding tan. And I will admit that the tan I'm sporting right now is natural. I went away 3 weeks ago and I did partake in some tanning because I do love a good natural tan as well, but I don't love the pigmentation that's left on my forehead, in case you can notice that. Any bit of sun and it just gives me really bad pigmentation, so we'll try and ignore that. But I'm going to read out your questions. I'm not going to do names and that because I always butcher them and there's no point. But the first one is best one, gradual tanner and instant tanner. Which one fades the best / evenly? Could you mention how long they last? Okay, so the best gradual tanner and the best instant tanner. Best gradual tanner for me personally, I like a gradual tanner that does pack a little bit of a punch, that's a little bit more pigmented. If you are fairer skinned than me, the Garnier Summer Skin and the Dove Summer Glow, both great options. I personally prefer one that's a little bit darker because I'm a little bit darker, and my favourite is the Palmer's Natural Bronze. This is my favourite gradual tanner. It does have more colour to it, so if you are a little bit fairer skinned, it might be a bit orange on you. On me this works really nicely and I really like it. And then my favourite fake tan is, that's a really tricky question. I like different ones for different reasons and for different occasions, but the one that I do use a lot and that I would recommend to pretty much everyone is the Cocoa Brown. And I know a lot of people talk about this. I've done a full review just about this because it develops in 1 hour. I normally sleep in it or leave it on for kind of 3 because I like a darker tan because I am a little bit darker naturally. But this is great, really great budget product. You can buy it in Primark, it's around £6, or you can buy it online and works really nicely. I'm going to have to keep referring to these questions because a lot of them are like a couple of questions in one comment. So that was that one. Then she asked, the Skinny Mouse, that's your username. Ones that I can say, I will say. Then which one fades the best / evenly? Cocoa Brown definitely fades the best. I never have any problems with that fading. I will share a few tips on making it fade a little bit quicker though. I definitely find that kind of not using any exfoliating mitts or anything like that on the first couple of days helps, but after that do help it along. Give yourself a bit of a scrub. I use those kind of exfoliating gloves. Put your hands in one of those, a little bit of shower gel, nothing fancy, and you can just scrub everything down, knees, elbows, that kind of thing, and get everything really nice and even, and it just fades really beautifully. And then could you mention how long they last? So the Cocoa Brown one lasts, I'd say, looking good, about 3 days on me, but this works differently on everyone. But from an average tan, I would say you get about 3 to 5 days. 5 days if you're lucky from an average tan. Gradual's different because you keep reapplying it, but from a normal tan, probably about 3 to 5 days of it looking good. Then the next question is how to avoid streaks. If you live on your own, how do you get even coverage on your back? Love you. Love you too, honey. And how to avoid streaks. Using a mitt is key. I stupidly haven't brought a mitt with you, but I'm sure you all know what a fake tanning mitt looks like. And using a mitt really helps to avoid streaks. Don't use gloves. I know a lot of fake tans kind of supply you with gloves. I find they are streaky because you kind of get the texture of your finger when you're rubbing the product. So you're rubbing it and you're kind of getting different textures of your finger. So a mitt is really important, and there isn't really a way, I'm sorry to say, if you live on your own doing your back, you can buy the mitts that have the kind of stick and do it like that. I just don't find they work that well. So getting someone to help you is key, or using a spray on your back is really helpful. Something like the Lauren's Way, what's this called? The Darker Than Dark Long Lasting Tan. This is a spray. This probably isn't the best example. You need something a bit finer like the Garnier one, and just kind of spraying down your back like that tends to work quite well, I find, if you haven't got anyone to help you. But it can be done. You kind of just have to be really dexterous and just try and kind of get everywhere. It can be done. I have done it a couple of times, but you need a little bit of practice. Then the next question, what's your favourite instant tanner, favourite gradual tanner, best moisturiser, best smelling tanner? Basically tell us all the products you use, also best budget buys. So my favourite instant tanner, as I said, is probably the Cocoa Brown. Favourite gradual tanner is the Palmer's one. Favourite best moisturiser, so I'm presuming this means kind of after you've tanned. I just use my normal skincare. I don't find anything particularly ruins it. I know a lot of people say don't use moisturisers that have oils in and that kind of thing. because it breaks it down quicker. But to be honest, I find I have to top it up every kind of 4 or 5 days anyway, so I don't mind that too much. But if you want one that's kind of very fuss free and good for a tan, super drug do the tubs of, I haven't got one to show you because I just finished it last night, it's actually in the bag in there waiting to be in an empties video, but it's the vitamin E tub, and it's just a very kind of no frills cream, moisturizes but won't kind of interfere with your tan. Best smelling tanner, that's interesting. I don't think that I have got one actually. I think they all have pretty much a fake tan smell. Cocoa Brown one smells quite fresh, and then I've got a lot of Lauren's Way. I've got some Saint Tropez here, some Vita Libareta. The Saint Tropez one didn't smell too bad actually. That had quite a good scent. That's the Saint Tropez Self Tan Sensitive Bronzing Mousse. So yeah. And best budget buys, probably the Cocoa Brown, as I mentioned again, because that one is £6. Basically, I like Cocoa Brown. Best tanner that doesn't wash away after one shower. So a lot of tans have a guide colour, which means you'll put it on and then you have a shower and it looks like all the colours are washing away, and then you're left with kind of what's actually attached to your skin. I know it can look like a lot of the colours going, because it does make you look much darker when you've got it on because of the guide colour, but that's more to help you kind of avoid streaking and that kind of thing. So all of the ones by Lauren's Way are very, very dark, because she I think it's probably because she's from Essex and kind of not to diss Essex, but I think they like quite a dark tan there. That works great for me because I'm a little bit darker skin, so I like that as well. And this is the darker than dark kind of spray one. Then I've got the darker than dark bronzing lotion, and also the mousse. This is actually the rapid mousse, which you leave on for 1 to 3 hours. So all of these are great. Lauren's Way are a really great tanning product line in general. Actually, everything from them I've really liked. They are dark. You have to be careful when you're applying it, kind of, you know, rub it in really well and just make sure you're really well covered, because they are dark and they do give you a kind of really good colour payoff that doesn't wash off after one shower. Things like the Saint Tropez and the Cocoa Brown are a little bit more gentle and don't last as long on the skin. And then I've also got the Vita Libareta Phenomenal Tan, which is the 2 to 3 week tan. I've never used this as it's intended, because you're supposed to reapply it kind of so one day, then the next day, then the next day, and that's how it lasts for 3 weeks. I will try it like that for you when it gets warmer, but I just don't like the idea of doing that. Like, wearing fake tan 3 days in a row is a bit gross, but yeah, it is a nice one. It does last for about a week when you just apply one coat. Then what tan transfers onto clothes the least? I always have this problem and have to avoid certain clothing. First of all, I never ever ever suggest you tan in the morning. Always tan before you're going to bed. Pop on some like tracksuit bottoms or pyjamas that you don't care and sleep like that, or even just sleep in kind of like a top and your knickers. Baggy t-shirt and knickers is fine, because some of them do come off. Now I find the darker ones, like Lauren's Way and such, they do transfer a little bit more. Cocoa Brown on me personally doesn't, and the Saint Tropez one doesn't either. But you do have to kind of be careful. Don't wear tight clothes, so don't wear jeans, don't wear leggings, that kind of thing. Really try and do it at night and just wear loose clothing, and it doesn't tend to be too much of a problem if you do it like that. I could imagine if you're doing it during the day, then it does transfer onto clothes, and that would be really annoying. Then what's the most long-lasting tan, and how long does it stay looking nice, and what's the best tan for a really dark tan? So I answered that already. The dark tan, the best ones are the Lauren's Way one, all of these, so you've got different textures. In terms of which formulas I like the most, I do like a cream, I really like this one. I do like a mousse, because I think the mousse is definitely the easiest to use. It's just very foolproof. If you like something a bit more moisturising, the lotion's great. And this, I know a lot of people shy away from the sprays, but this is actually really easy to use. I don't spray it directly onto the skin, onto the mitt, pop it everywhere, and this is fine. I don't have too much of a problem with that. But if you are a less experienced tanner, then using mousse is definitely the foolproof way, and they last about 5 days averagely. Then what tan to use on your face? I find they tend to break me out. I tried St. Moritz and skin got really bad after that. So when I'm doing a proper tan, so let's say I've done a proper tan on my body, I then use this, and this is the Sun Labs very dark Giselle, is it Giselle? No, I've completely made that up, it's not Giselle at all. Self-tanning lotion. And what I do with this is I pump some onto a cotton wool pad and then swipe this all over my face. So my face is a little bit darker than it would be and it matches my body. That's on day one. Then kind of, I don't keep applying this, I'll then just apply normal moisturiser. And then on about sort of day 3 or 4, your face does tend to get a lot lighter than your body much quicker. The two that I really like, this is my favourite ever, and it's the Almay Sunless Tanning Gel. You can buy this on eBay. It's just a clear, not clear, sorry, it's a tinted gel, and it just kind of gives you a little bit of a bronzed look on your face, and it doesn't break you out at all. I used to use this when I was much younger, and I did kind of suffer from the breakout, and it's never broke me out. And then another great option is the Clarins Radiance Plus Golden Glow Booster. This is basically sort of like tanning essence, so you pop a few drops into your normal moisturiser, put it all over your face, and you're good to go. It kind of gives you a nice glow, and you can control how much you want, so kind of quite a few drops, 4 or 5 drops more intense, 3 is kind of like a nice glow, 2 just lifts your complexion a little bit. You can play around with it. This is a really, really cool product. So that's everything. Those are all your questions. I hope this was helpful. I think tanning has got a bad name still, even today, because of the whole concept of kind of, you know, being tangoed, being orange, and a lot of people really shy away from it and are quite scathing towards it. And I think that, you know, being tanned, for me personally, is so uplifting. It makes me feel so much better, and I just feel like kind of pretty much everyone looks a little bit better with a tan. If you like being pale, then that's great, and that looks gorgeous as well. But for me personally, I just feel like I look so much better when I've got a bit of a tan, and especially in summertime, wearing dresses and skirts and that kind of thing, nice tanned legs always looks really pretty in my opinion. And you don't have to be scared of it. I know a lot of people kind of maybe tried tanning a few years ago and were horrified and went orange and it was really bad, but nowadays the formulas are different. You know, you can only have it on for an hour and go out. The formulas are different, the process is different, they're not orange anymore really, and the whole application is important. You know, you just really make sure your skin is scrubbed, do all your shaving and everything the day before, moisturize, shower the next day, and then pop your tan on and you should be good to go, and don't worry about it kind of thing. Just make sure everywhere's evenly covered. Most products don't streak really anymore, mousses and that, they dry quickly. And if you're scared of fake tanning, don't be. Just, you know, try something. The best foolproof one I think for someone who's never tanned before and isn't an experienced tan is the Cocoa Brown. Tinted, smells nice, little bit of mousse on your mitt. Kind of do maybe just your legs first to see how you get on. And another very common question is what to do about hands and feet. They always tan funny. My tip for that is, so let's say you've done all your arm, and then only what you've got left on the mitt, just very gently, and do it in kind of a gentle motion, just kind of do that on your hands. Make sure you've popped a bit of moisturiser, I always think, in between your fingers kind of here, because that can attract kind of a bit too much colour. And just do it very gently, kind of buff it into the skin, and you should be alright. Kind of make sure as well you've got moisturiser on your knuckles, because they tend to be drier and they attach it a bit more. But I hope this was helpful for you. If you've got any other questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will try my best to get back to you and give you my advice on those. And I hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!